Dublin, like many towns and cities, I suppose, right across Ireland, I believe is dying. Dying in many, many ways, societally and also economically, with the demise of many, many businesses. And it's not isolated to Dublin, capital city, not isolated to Belfast or Galway or Cork. This is happening everywhere. Where I live at the minute, I'm witnessing the real-time death of the city that I live in, although a city in Northern Ireland or the north of Ireland is very different than a city anywhere else in the world. If you have a post office here and a supermarket, you get city status basically. But we're going to see a report today from traders that are operating on Drury Street in Dublin. And they're explaining why even in these hostile market conditions that all businesses are experiencing at the minute, on street illegal drinking, treating the place like a doss house, people vomiting over their shops, using the street as a toilet, leaving their garbage everywhere, is killing trade. And by the looks of it, nothing is being done apart from sticking a few signs up with little hearts on them saying, please don't sit on the curb drinking. That's not going to work. Don't see any police presence, don't see any Gardaí presence here. And the faces of the on-street drinkers in this report is also blurred out. That could be to protect the identity of culprits. Maybe people out having a sneaky on-street drink when they should be working, or we've seen a lot of footage of what's going on in the streets of Dublin at the minute, who is congregating around street corners and milling around getting drunk during the day, despite the fact that they have no jobs or incomes. They can afford to get smashed every day. But let's hear what these ladies have to say concerning Drury Street. Drury Street businesses push back against outdoor drinking surge. So let's hear what these ladies have to say.
Keepers in particular. There'll be no more shops on Drury Street soon.
So we posted a story on Instagram just about how the activity on Drury Street has escalated and gotten out of control with illegal drinking.
What we're seeing outside is loads of people having a picnic with bought-in drinks from around the corner, I guess. There's loads of people here for a drinking afternoon, as if it's a park. And I have no issues about drinking in the sun, but this is meant to be a co-living space where we're meant to have pubs and bars and shops.
So everybody congregates right outside the shop.
So she's basically saying that this is a problem that's escalating. It's getting progressively worse and worse. What are Dublin City Council doing about this? What are An Garda Síochána doing about this? If this is an illegal activity and it's happening in broad daylight, slap bang in the middle of Dublin, well, if it can happen there, willfully, anyone can do it whenever they feel like. What's to say that this blight isn't going to spread into other areas? And we know it is happening. Did reports recently from Cork, the same thing's happening. The middle of Cork's being used as a drinking den. People milling around drinking during the day, running around threatening to stab each other. The reports are here, and it's happening everywhere. But this is a focus in this one particular area. And the lady said at the beginning, if this doesn't get sorted out, business here in Drury Street is going to die. It's gone. And then when those shops get shuttered up, what's going to happen to the people that were running those businesses and their suppliers and the people that rely on them for a living?
Leaning up against the windows and leaving their glasses on the ground outside the shop, and basically just blocking the whole view of the shop front. As the street is kind of semi-pedestrianised, there's still a curb, so people like to sit on the curb, they sit on the planters, so the plants don't really exist anymore, and the planters, they've all been destroyed by being sat on or having litter thrown on top of them.
And I know
The state of that filth. What kind of degenerate do you have to be? Disrespectful degenerate do you have to be to sit on plants in public areas, leaving your filth and your dirt there, leaving your glasses at the side of the road? And this is, you see this sort of behaviour in city centres and town centres on a Saturday night or a Friday night. People spilling out of bars, people who are drunk, they're completely losing control of their bodily functions. They're puking, they're peeing in the streets. That's the sort of behaviour you expect in rough areas on a Saturday night. This is happening in broad daylight in Dublin, outside shops of people who are trying to trade, and putting customers off coming down there as well because they can't get into the shops.
Other shops have come in 2 or 3 times a week to vomit all down their shutters that they have to clean off. Another shop on this street has turned into the toilet. Everyone seems to use it as a toilet. It's not nice coming in the morning. You have no idea what you're going to find. It's always dirty. There's always fag butts everywhere. It's just really unpleasant.
Look at this. In a statement, Dublin City Council, well, I asked the question, what are Dublin City Council doing about this? Here's your answer. Dublin City Council says it is working with other agencies and businesses on the street. What agencies? Be specific. And businesses on the street. The businesses on the street are all complaining that their trade's being killed. And what can these shop owners do? They can't go out and physically throw the people away from the shops. Maybe if they come out and they say, excuse me, could you move away? You're blocking the entrance. People can't get in. Maybe they'll get their windows put in. I don't know. Maybe they'll be targeted to have all the vomit directed at their shutters. So the council said they're working with other agencies and businesses on the street to keep a positive atmosphere. Well, you know, it's okay if you're one of the ones sitting milling around drinking. Look at that blurred out photograph as well. People lining both sides of the street, just sitting milling around drinking during the day. Keep a positive atmosphere with some structure, balance, and a shared sense of responsibility. What about the shop owners? What about the people whose business is being destroyed? What about Dublin City Centre, who in these traders' words, it's going to kill it? Okay, nicey doesn't work. They need to come down hard on these revellers.
You can really notice the footfall depleting during the day as it gets busier and busier. So we might be busy up till about lunchtime, and then once it hits after lunchtime, people are just here to eat and drink. And just the retail aspect of the street is disregarded.
So they might as well basically go, you shutter the place down at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock or whatever time they take their lunch at. They said you get a bit of trade up until that point, but then once lunchtime comes, out come the drinkers, out come the eaters, out come the pukers.
It's struggling. It's always a tough business. Everything's gone up. Staff costs has gone up. Cost of living's gone up. Tourism is down. Everything's against us. We can't afford to have this.
You know, that's a perfect statement of the state of play right across the board. Cost of living's gone up. Prices have gone up. Tourism is down. Depending on where you live, taxation on employee benefits, everything is against small independent businesses and has been for several years now, really hard against them. And this is another, or could be the killer blow to shop owners in this area in particular, who are just trying to earn a wage, trying to bring some life and vitality into Dublin city centre, and they're being wrecked by drinkers on the streets. And I'm the same as the lady said at the beginning. She's not against people drinking in the sunshine, but go and sit in a park and do it. Don't sit in front of a shop when there's people coming and going, trying to do some shopping, blocking off shop doorways. Have some. Where's manners these days? Where were people brought up? Am I showing my age here? You know, I used to mill around in the town centre when I was younger, when I was a teenager. And you weren't long before the shop owner would come out and say, get the hell out of here, I'll crack your skulls together. And, you know, you would take him at his word because you were hampering his business, wrecking his profits. You know, people need to toughen up a little bit too. People are too nice these days.
No one in retail can afford this kind of issue, especially going into the summer. The summer's meant to be, between Christmas and the summer, you have tourism, but you have people out and about. So it's meant to be our best season. Everyone on the street is dreading the summer.
Look at that. Don't sit on the curb, thank you, with a little heart. What message would you put on that poster? Or what would you put along the curb to stop these boozers sitting there wrecking trade and killing trade? You know, that's a perfect example of the problem we have. Little bollards with little nice notices. Please don't sit on the curb, thank you. I'll sit wherever I want, thank you. What are you going to do about it? That's the mentality of many people who think they can do whatever the hell they want. And as she said, she's dreading the summertime coming. So what do you think? What should be done to stop this? Can anything be done to stop this? Or is it just a write-off? Is this just the way things are going to be? Leave me your thoughts, comments and opinions below. I'm Rick Munn, No Risk, No Reward Media, over and out.